Welcome back to Broncos Country Tonight. We're still reacting to the Broncos' loss to the Kansas City Chiefs 43-16. We're going to take a deeper dive on the offensive side of the ball right now. And we'll get into Drew Lock's numbers, the rushing attack. I thought there were some things that they can actually build on, but consistency is the word that keeps coming to mind because the Broncos really lack that. Even out with the Patriots, consistently they moved the ball, but they couldn't be consistent in the red zone. Well, you went 2 for 2 in the red zone, so I guess that's consistent against the Chiefs, but you didn't give yourself enough times down there, and of course you turned the ball over a lot. So how do the Broncos find consistency? And obviously they need to find it in a hurry here.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the offense is going to really come down to Drew Lock and him being more consistent, getting through his progressions like we talked about a little bit earlier. A few times guys are run across the field right wide open right there, but he didn't look or looked a little bit late. And, you're going to have some of that, especially early on. And I know it's frustrating for him when he goes back and look at that film and say, golly, man, no, it was right there. I could have just thrown it right to him. But, he's got to learn from it, and he can't make the same mistakes twice. I definitely think him missing some of the games early on in the season that helped, that stunted his development a little bit. And I like that he didn't go deep as much, didn't try to throw the ball deep as much this game, because last game I felt like we just tried to do that a little bit too much. We went to the well a little bit too much. We got to hit those intermediate passes to set up the deep pass. You don't throw deep passes to set up the intermediate passes.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that was something that was pointed out even on the broadcast multiple times yesterday, that Drew Lock would at times forego looking for the open guy underneath and sometimes be pressing downfield. Is that just being overly aggressive? Is that something that is designed? Is that something Pat Shurmur's teaching him?
Well, I'm not sure what's being taught. I doubt it. I would imagine Coach Shurmur wants to get the completion and, get it to the guy that's open. And, it may be a thing where, you're trying to throw the deep ball because you're behind or whatnot. But, the drives are much more important, I think, than throwing the big ball. Now, you got to throw some deep balls to keep the defense honest, but you don't want that to be your primary thing, just, getting out there thinking you're going to score quickly every single time. It just it doesn't work like that. Okay,
so what do you hope that Drew Lock ultimately learns from this game? I mean, I know that he's going to come out of this one looking at the turnovers, looking at his footwork, which he has to continue to work on. But again, you talked about the look at the high-low, and anything really for me is he took some sacks where it did seem like there were opportunities either to get rid of the ball or to find an open guy. So what do you hope he takes away from this game?
Well, one of the other things that I saw was, he would step up into the pocket and, he would see a little bit of a crease on the right, but there was also a bigger crease on the left, but he didn't really get back around, turn his head back around to see the other crease on the other side where he would have had more room to run the other way. So I just want his peripheral vision to get a little bit better when he's in the pocket, and I think that'll help him make some better decisions and kind of help him to extend the plays a little bit longer when he needs to extend plays. He took some sacks that probably, he probably shouldn't have taken, should have probably just gotten rid of the ball. There are a lot of lessons that he still can learn. And, I feel confident the coaching staff is going to get us there, but we just have to be patient.
Broncos rushed for 177 yards on 33 carries, 5.4 yards per carry. Philip Lindsay was fantastic. Of course, he's in the concussion protocol right now, but averaging 8.8 yards per carry. So overall, just really, really good on the ground. So for the frustrations about the game, and of course, once it gets away from you, you're really not running as much as you'd like to be, keeping on script. But feels like there's some things to build off that, right?
Yeah, definitely something to build off of, but if you can't complete passes when you need to, especially when you're down in the ball game, it's going to be difficult to win. So for me, we got to really get back to the fundamentals. Making sure that Drew Lock understands where his guys are, where they're going to be, what order he's going to them, and it may be something about reading the defenses and understanding which defense they're in, But, me not being in the meeting room, I'm just kind of going through my mind what are some of the issues that I think it could be. So, we got a ways to go. We're definitely not there yet. And, but I feel confident that this coaching staff and the young guys have the right mentality for it. And as you know, guys on the team, they want to win now. They don't want to wait. So they're going to do everything they can to, make sure that they're putting a better product on the field next week.
It felt like the offense was actually, they were actually playing complementary football. The Broncos offense and the defense were doing a pretty good job. It wasn't a perfect start to the game. And even after the fumble by Melvin Gordon, you ended up forcing the Chiefs to punt in that situation. The Broncos get the ball back at their own one. They drive to midfield. There were things working about the offense. There were things working about the offensive game plan. But I hope the ultimate lesson they get out of this is we just aren't good enough right now to turn the ball over, to have major mental errors like that. They also had a 12-minute in the huddle penalty. They did have a hold in there. And they're not a team that usually accepts a lot of penalties. That's the thing. The Broncos have been really good about that this year. So those are things that I come out of this game going like, man, if you actually go back and watch, you guys were doing some good things out there, but the overwhelming thing that everybody's going to look at is the turnovers.
Yeah, and when you look at the good football teams, they don't make a lot of those mistakes anyway. They don't turn the ball over. They don't throw a lot of interceptions. They don't fumble the ball. They don't, toss back the flea flicker, over the head. I'm not sure what happened there. He's left-handed, isn't he?
I don't know exactly what happened there. We'll probably have to get a little bit of follow-up on that. It was a very weird, and this funny thing is, if it works, then everybody's like, oh, wow, it's creative, whatever. But in the moment, you needed to just keep going, and you were running the ball very well. And I think that's where a lot of people's frustration is you get a little too cute there.
Yeah. I feel bad for Melvin, and with all the stuff that's kind of gone down in the last couple of weeks, and I'm hoping that he can get back on track. I know the guys in the locker room are supporting him, so he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. You just got to hang in there, keep hanging. Hopefully at the end of the season, we'll be looking back on this time saying, man, we hit a little dip there, but we came out of it strong.